And in her fight for survival and self-discovery, she has to not only overcome everything in her past, but she has to overcome someone who pretends to love her and yet is secretly trying to destroy her. And that's the ultimate worst kind of betrayal, right? You think you have a confidant, you have a supporter, an advocate, and behind the back, they're not just trying to get your job. They're not just trying to get your girlfriend, boyfriend, what have you. They're trying to get your life, or to completely stomp you out just for their own disgusting game. Those are the things that bring me back, wanting more to investigate the shadows of the psyche, how these different types of folks. And in the case of a doctor like this doctor, he actually has a Hippocratic oath to do no harm, and he does exactly that. He violates her in every conceivable way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Yes, as Big Brother said, the gremlins are at work tonight. That video was supposed to have some pretty intense music with it. So let's see if we can run that again a little later. But I am Nick, and welcome to the book launch party of the Silent Canvas 3. This is the conclusion in the trilogy that started Jack Torrance's authorship this year. I am really proud to be here, and I am proud to have him on stage with me. When Guiding Brilliant Writers launched this year, Jack was the first client to sign on and signed 4 books this year. Not only did he launch the trilogy of the Silent Canvas, he also launched When Horror Stares Back, Reflections of the Unseen. Now, I gotta tell you, this psychological thriller is so much more than what you think. This is not, oh, let me just read something creepy and tomorrow morning forget all about it. This is gonna sit with you. This is going to be with you every waking moment for a long, long time. And we have some special treats too, because I do believe certain parts of this may have been rewritten to give you an alternate ending. Now, how thrilling is that? Like, seriously. I want to say hi to everyone that's out there. It is so amazing how everybody always shows up. And I just love this community, because this community is about supporting each other and really embracing new people that step in. And Jack is new to us, not so much anymore now, because it's almost a full year. So to my big brother, Aaron Gibson, who is going to be hosting at 8 p.m. his 3rd annual Halloween Spooktacular. Please make sure you tune in. Hello, big brother. Yolanda Chen, thank you so much. It's great to have you with us. Jackie, I see you out there. Sharon Rose. Leslie's here, and she's also backstage helping me out a little bit tonight, so I don't have to roll the comments. We got Sandra Bothe, which I believe is somebody's wife. And we also have Melissa Houston. It's so great to have you here. I know sometimes you're like at work on this night. So wonderful to have you. And HR4U's in the house as well. All super fans up in here. And this would not be happening without you. And you know, I was looking back this past couple weeks when we kicked up the launch, and it's just really amazing that book 1 and book 2 for an indie author, okay, hit in the top 10 of the Amazon bestsellers list in the psychology of good and evil, nonetheless. And this is what this madness is all about. And I am going to say madness. So, with that, I am going to throw up this 20-second clip just to bring you into where we are with Silent Canvas 3, because the intro recapped 1 and 2. So let's run this before we get the author up here. Are you ready? Are you ready to pick up what Jack is putting down? Well, perhaps a little bit of a dare tonight. So with that, we are going to bring up our author. Hello, Jack.
Hello, Nick. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Oh my goodness, happy Halloween is right. I love that when this strategy went out, it's like, okay, oh yeah, the last book is gotta blow up on Halloween night. I have to ask you, I mean, this is like 4 books in the first year. 4 books. You came out swinging with the Silent Canvas one and just blew everybody's mind. You know, they fell in love with Natalie. She was the victim, heroine. You just want to save her from herself. And then you roll into part 2 and you're like, what the hell? You know, and you're like, okay, that's it. That's the wrap. But no, the wrap. That was just getting untied, folks. So I gotta know how you feel right now. Like I have to know how you feel right now.
Yeah, no, thank you. Well, since it's Halloween, I feel like somebody plugged me into a haunted power outlet. You know, I'm a bit sparked, a little spooked, maybe a little possessed, but it's Halloween, so I'm good. Really good. Mostly, Nick, I would say I'm just grateful. It feels really unreal. Like you said, launching 4 books in a single year, that sentence alone is like a hallucination, right? It's one that I not only somehow survived, but I created it at the same time. I been speaking out at libraries and places promoting the books, and people ask me this, and I like to say, I feel like the stories choose us. And these stories, my stories, they didn't just ask to be written; they really demanded to be written. They sort of whispered, "Write us, or we'll disappear." And when these voices speak to you like that, write me or lose me forever, it's time to listen. So I really want to, on this evening, a special evening, to thank everyone, thank the brave readers that stepped into the dark with me, maybe changed a little bit as a result. Thank you for letting me leave little pieces of myself in your mind and sharing this beautiful walk together down what I'll call Psychosis Lane and Insanity Avenue, because it's been the thrill of my life, and hopefully it's been that for you. 4 launches in 1 year, that isn't just business. That's a gorgeous sort of madness, isn't it? It's just,
it is definitely. its own freaking madness. And you dragged me along this journey, and I said dragged because I was so freaking excited, but I was so afraid to turn the next page. And then every single time I sat down to work on something, I'm like, more, Nicole, intense, more. It's like, you want to match. And it's so hard because you're such an expressive writer. Like you bring the reader into the zone where they're even challenged of their own imagination to conjure up what it is that's actually going on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's a process. It's been intense. It's been strangely joyful. The process of peeling back these minds, these characters that I hope and wish that people connect with. It's just walking that line where light and shadow interchange, and it's been the fun that of a lifetime that I think only storytellers and writers can maybe understand. It's a rush, it's a bit of a spiral, it's rewarding. So for all those that championed this, you didn't just make the books, you didn't just read my books, you really made them real. And I like to think, that we've turned a little bit of an obsession into a community, and all this madness into meaning. And without you, there'd be no Silent Canvas world. So, thank you for letting me take my imagination, a little lunacy and mental craziness, and sprinkle it on your brain. For that, I really cherish all of you. And for your efforts, Nick, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the social, the kids call it the gram, all my fellow weirdos out there, you know who you are. Just thank you. Thank you for making the journey real and fun and supporting the effort. It's been just the ride of a lifetime. I know we're closing a chapter on this particular trilogy, but I think the echoes will linger a long time. And I am feeling definitely the pull of a new descent, a new opportunity, or a new project where, I promise there's going to be more waiting just beyond the light. So stay tuned.
That's crazy, waiting beyond the light. Because, like you say, you play with light and shadow, and it's like, seriously, you're just Jekyll and Hyde. Like, I look at you on stage here, and, I know you personally. So it's like, you see this face, and you're like, what are you talking about? This is the light. What darkness? Oh, if you only knew the other side of him that, craves the darkness, that craves dragging us into the darkness with him. And so go ahead and scan the QR code on screen above Brian so you could go purchase your copy of the Silent Canvas 3. I will not settle for anything less than a bestseller on this book, because Silent Canvas 1 and Silent Canvas 2 hit the top 10 on the Amazon bestsellers list in the psychology of good and evil. And to put that into a little perspective view, 7,500 ebooks launch daily on Amazon, folks. And not only that, you are considered a bestseller if you are in the top 100. Guiding Brilliant Writers don't play like that. Our bestsellers are in the top 10, and most of them are number 1. So this one is going straight to where the hell it belongs. In hell, number 1. All right. So I got another question for you. Ready?
Ready.
You shared with me that you almost completely rewrote book 2. Like, I think I dropped to the floor. I was like, wait, what? So why was that? Why? And did it change the outcome of the story? Like, should readers go back now who've purchased 2, read it, and read the new 2 before they go into 3? Or does it flow one into the other?
Sure. So the first part of that is, yep, I absolutely did rewrite the second book, literally sort of nearly all of it, right? It took me 2 or 3 times the length of time to do the rewrite as it did the first edition. The main reason for that, and I'm going to answer this in just a couple bullet points. But the first macro big picture is that the story grew much deeper into book 3 than I realized the series or trilogy actually was going to be. So as it intensified and grew, I needed book 2 to match that vision and really to be worthy of the series, and particularly book 3. So that's the first part of it. And I think as you, if you do read the new edition of the second book, you're going to find that it's far more emotionally richer and darker and such. So that's the main, that's mainly it. To go a little bit into the weeds or detail with it, it's just that for those who know Natalie's journey, Ulrich's presence, the psychological descent at the heart of the series, it needed, book 2 in particular needed more depth, more atmosphere, a more sharper emotional blade, as I like to call it. And the rewrite elevated that tension. It enriched the character's arc. It aligned with the narrative, with the mythology, the psychological undercurrents. There's a lot going on. So readers can touch in with the story, the action, the plot if they wish, or they might be drawn into the psychology, the psychopathy of trauma, abuse, sexual abuse, mental disorder, all throughout the trilogy. So does the rewrite change the outcome? I think you mentioned no. At the core of it, it remains the same, but the path along the way is far more powerful. The emotional stakes are much higher, the shadows are deeper, and it's much more haunting and tragic as it unveils. So I think if you read the second edition of the second book, it will give more, it'll elevate the third book. Not necessary, but it definitely does elevate it. And I'm really proud of all 3 books. But 2, I always felt was a little light. And as I've rewritten 2, now I feel like it might be my best work ever. It's hard to say because 3 is just incredible as well. I know I'm biased, but I love them both. My
Well,
wife
that makes
often
me
jokes.
biased too.
My wife often jokes, I think you love these books more than you love me.
You know what? I think that a really good writer is not writing about a character or about characters. That writer actually becomes the character or characters in order to have that conversation, not a conversation that's made up in your head, but the conversation that you would have between various minds, but they all sit within your mind, which in itself to me is like scary. Like I think that you are thinking that 2 needed to be more. And I'm like, damn, what is the threshold for this guy? Like it just keeps going and deeper and further and more. And like I would not lie, I had a hard time with this. And when I say a hard time with this, like LinkedIn wanted the message toned down. They wanted the videography toned down. So like I'm blasting more until like, no, you can't do that. And I was pissed because I was like, listen, this doesn't do justice. As it is, I can't do justice. I'm like, I need this to be there. So go out and get the book because you are going to come back and watch this live show. You're going to come back and listen to what he has shared because you're going to be like, I need to identify. So why don't you give us a little something?
Oh, a reading?
That would be wonderful.
All right. So this is going to be from book 3. That's all right?
Very good.
Okay. So this is chapter 27 of the third book, and it's mainly around the son of Natalie and Ulrich, a fellow named Elric. All right. So with that, we'll jump right in. By morning, the air has gotten much colder. It bites at the edges of my sleeves as I walk through the school gates with my head down, hands shoved into my jacket pockets. The whispering starts even before I reach the front doors. They don't say my name, of course, because they don't know it's me. They found the body by the riverbank, right? Like skinned? My mom says it's not even safe to walk the dog anymore. Sick fuck probably watches us in the halls. They glance my way as I pass, eyes widening and glistening. Some flinch when I smile back. Just a little twitch of the mouth, the perfect touch of charm and concern. It's nothing if I'm nothing if not considerate. I even slow down to hold the door for a girl I don't recognize, a junior, I think. Something with braces and heavy eyeliner, gothy little bitch. She blushes when I say, "Good morning." Secretly, I know she desires me like most of the stupid, mindless flesh maggot girls in my high school do. But secretly, I want her too. I want to unzip her dainty flesh and step inside, curl up in her like she's a velvet body bag stitched with black and eyeliner tears, my little goth cocoon of rot and ribbons. As I peel her face like lace from the bone, strutting in her skin until the mirror forgets whose smile it used to be. Instead, I just smile. I let her pass along her little fucking merry way. As I walk behind her, though, the fainting thought and desire perks up in my loins. I could peel the skin from her face in long curls like citrus zest and circus lust as I drape myself inside of her. It would feel like nightfall in porcelain, like a second skin kissed by bruised moons and cherry chapstick of deep, bittersweet regret. I want to unzip her shadow and wear it until I forget who I was. Just like a little goth princess of pain and ruin now, haunting mascara running down someone else's cheeks. I don't want to be like her. No, I want to be her. And right now, in this very moment, I want to kill everyone in the world. I want to be something that makes them all matter. And I want to wear her like a dream turned inside out, like like identity taxidermied in black and dressed in black. Oh, I feel it. I'm coming now. Elric, my dude. Ryan's voice cuts through the delicious noise in my head like 100 rifles at an open air firing range interrupted midstream. The most delicate, delightful dream. That fucker. He jogs up, red hoodie half zipped, backpack slung over one shoulder like it weighs nothing. You hear about the press conference last night? He's grinning. He's all excited, like the citywide panic is a new episode on his favorite show. Couldn't miss it, I replied in a warm and easy tone. He shakes his head with bright eyes. Man, this shit's weird. Organized, they said, like serial killer level. And it's someone local. That's what they keep saying, like someone we know. Statistically, that's always the case, I say as I slip through the crowd with him. People expect monsters to look like monsters, but they blend in, smile at the grocery store, open doors. Creepy, man, he laughs. You sound like a villain. I smile wider. Yeah, well, maybe I am. He laughs again, louder this time, and I wish I could reach into his throat and rip the sound out. Every syllable he spoke scrapes my nerves like razors. I want to pull his voice out like a string from a doll, unraveling it until there's nothing left but twitching lips and a blank stare. It wasn't hate. It was need, a compulsion, to see if I could reach in, snap something soft and sacred and silence him forever with the sound still twitching in my grip. But I just let him drone on about the new excitement in town, a serial killer on the loose, a real monster in their midst. The hallway buzzes like a hive around us, posters for prom on the walls, someone crying in the girls' bathroom, like there's someone filming it. All the while, they talk about him, about the killer, about me. Like he's some shadow creature creeping through the suburbs at night, not a varsity athlete with a 4.0 GPA and a girlfriend who writes his name in hearts on her wrist in science notebook. Speaking of, Brianna finds me in the fourth period. I see her coming, all teeth and curls, and something in my stomach coils like something cornered. Elric, she chirps, as if she didn't see me yesterday, as if we didn't spend 40 minutes texting about some dream she had where I was a vampire or was it a werewolf, if she only knew. She slides into the seat beside me, ignoring the fact that it isn't hers. Her perfume floods my nose. It smells like pink chemical mixed with agitation and fruit rotting in a field of bleach. I brought you one of those muffins you like, she says. She reaches into her bag and pulls out a napkin wrapped lump from the cafe, the one with caramel swirl. I blink at her. I want to take out the pen from my pocket and jam it in the soft part of her left eye. And then my pocket knife, I want to slit her throat, watch her blood soak the muffin, watch as she finally understands that I'm not the boy she thought I was. Instead, I just smile. I give her a soft wink. Thanks, Bree. You're the best.
It's heavy. It's dark. I think what really gets you is that you never know truthfully which lunatic you are sitting across the table from.
So true.
It is always the ones you least suspect. The ones that come from the good families, the ones that are good boys, the ones with the cool ice blue eyes that are so handsome until. And therein lies the absolute madness, because this trilogy starts off with a mad man who coerces and creates this mad woman, ballerina, figurine, saturated mind of a real flesh and blood woman. And somehow, as if that isn't enough, their union creates a spawn that even the devil envies.
It's well said.
Right?
Yes.
So you don't see this coming. I mean, he wants to not just live in the skin of, he wants to live in the shadow of. How do you step into the shadow of another? Right? So this is not just the type of psychological thriller that is flesh and blood and gore and, this is really and truly, people use the word psychological, and you read these horror stories and there's never anything mildly paranormal, mildly Twilight Zone, mildly, could I step outside and this shit could really happen? And that's what this trilogy does, right? And it's not, oh, Nick's doing a great job of scaring us. No, if you love this genre, you cannot pass up this trilogy. If you know someone that loves this genre, oh, you should be buying that trilogy and it should be already like on its way for Christmas, because in the next, I am positive, 48 hours over this Halloween weekend, this trilogy is going to go nuts. Brian Jack is giving away a very, very special gift. He's giving away the 3-book set of the trilogy, autographed. That's all 3 books, people. Okay, and this is just his first year. So a few years from now, when he becomes a household name, those books are going to be worth a hell of a lot of money. Because this right here, this is movie material. This is, oh shit, it's on Netflix material. So watch out, the Silence of the Lamb, because Jack is coming to town. Please scan that QR code. Please check out the link in the comments. Go get your copy. And Guiding Brilliant Writers needs to know if you walked your talk, if you took the dare. If you did, I need to see a picture of you with that book, and I need to see your favorite line in it. Yes, I believe we will have Jack pick which was his favorite line. And we're going to give that individual the Silent Trilogy. All right, folks, we are on the half an hour mark, and I am going to ask Brian, Jack. You know, I am bipolar. I have to wonder if you are Jack, bipolar too. So tell me something. What parting words do you want to leave with us? What do you want your readers to walk away with? What do you want them to know about you that's that one thing that they see you here now on stage, right? But that one, whether it was a memory or something in your past, something anecdotal, a feeling, a whisper, what was it that made you, you know, you had this thing that you were holding on to tangible, and it just came to a point where you had to like unleash it like on the world, you know? So what's next? Is anything next? Is Jack going silent for a little while? You know, what's happening?
Well, that's great. I will say, you know, as far as maybe something to leave the readers with, and just how the inspiration, I would say, for the trilogy, um, you know, this is a bit we touched on this summer in the diagnosis book. But for those that maybe don't know me well, or these books, or my journey, I suppose you could say, is as a child, I was diagnosed with learning disability. I had learning disabilities. I was placed in special education arrangements. Was often bullied as a result, pushed aside, marked as different, picked apart, harassed, labeled, boxed in, you name it. Special education classes, you know, you're going to be marked, if you will. And this was in the 70s, late 70s and 80s, so there wasn't any political correctness or softness or wokeness or any of the things that kids seem to maybe have those advantages today. But yet I survived, you know, that environment and that tough upbringing. I had a great upbringing from my parents and loved ones and family, but just intellectually, where I struggled with words, I was never, you know, gifted as far as reading and writing and all of that. So it's sort of amazing, almost a miracle, that I've ended up writing 4 books in 1 year and consider myself a writer. Yes, thank you. I used that, you know, we could call it trauma. I used that isolation. I used the doubters, if you will, telling me just to work harder. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just lazy. And all of those emotional scars, you know, of not being seen, not knowing who you are, being in those lonely corners where your only friend sometimes is your imagination, right? And so I think the Silent Canvas was really born out of that place. It's a world that was created much earlier on because I needed to create something in my mind where I felt I could prove myself and that I also felt like I mattered, you know. So for any young people, new writers, neophyte writers, people that might be struggling in silence like I did, I do have some parting advice. And that is, you know, first, just remember to forgive yourself and others, because forgiveness does lead to grace. You know, I mentioned a moment ago that I grew up fighting words, that pages, they weren't doors, they were more like walls. And, you know, I had to build these worlds because I was never invited into theirs, you know. And being dyslexic, words could be your enemy. And now they're actually my weapons. So, you know, if you feel left behind or you're not enough, trust me, some of the best storytellers are people like us. And that's how stories, powerful stories, are forged, is in your trauma or in your differences. And I like to often say, you know, I was told numerous times, your mind doesn't work in the normal way. And I now know, good,
What?
normal minds don't make worlds like this. They don't write books like this. So that's my parting advice.
Well, guiding brilliant writers, honored to have worked with you this first year. We celebrate your mind because that mind, and something you just said, and it makes me think, your words, once your shield, and now your weapons. Because you hid behind what didn't come easily to you. And I think in the most sinister way, of course, boy, did the bullies bully the wrong guy. Boy, if they only knew what was going on in the inside. I would challenge every bully out there that you have had to pick up and read this trilogy, because they are probably going to say to themselves, I was damn lucky. Oh my God. This has just been incredible. To talk about we choose to be more than our diagnoses along this book seems like unjust, but I bring it up because if you read his chapter in We Choose to Be More Than Our Diagnoses before or after you read this trilogy, there will be a perception and an emphasis that comes to you in a very different light. There is an appreciation beyond the horror for what exactly this trilogy represents. It is an accomplishment of the type of madness that you don't expect a father, a husband, a very well situated professional to embrace to this degree. And he has embraced it so beautifully in his life that he is able to do and be both people, Brian and Jack. So, yes, I love what Jackie shared. And you know what? He got to show them, because this trilogy is going to go all the way. So help us make sure that that goes all the way, that Jack goes all the way, that Brian goes all the way, that we treat him so well that he's going to come back next year and give us a whole lot of more. Scan that QR code, get the book, check the comments and the links, get the book. And Jack, I'm bowing down. Thank you
please.
again.
Thank you. It's been
right,
quite a ride.
Have a wonderful night, everyone. If you're out there trick-or-treating, please be safe. Bye-bye now.